This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, L'Kavod Chanukah, I want to mention something very beautiful Dvar Torah. In all of Shas, perhaps the most famous statement in all of Talmud Bavli, or the most well-known two words in all of Gemara, My Chanukah. What's Chanukah, right? Shabbos Chaf Alef Amud Beis. What's Chanukah? And the Gemara goes on to say that the Yevanim entered the Heichal and they defiled all the oil in the Heichal. And when the Chashmonaim prevailed, they searched and they found only one pach, which was sealed with the signet of the Kohen Gadol. And there was only enough oil to last for one day. And lo and behold, miracle of miracles, the oil lasted for 8 days. So says the Gemara, L'shano ha'acheres, kavum v'asam yamim toivim v'halavayda. Right? So if we were to ask, what is Chanukah? The Gemara says clearly, it's the miracle of the oil. And yet, to say that the outstanding feature of Chanukah was the miracle of the oil is very difficult. Because historically we know that our lives were in danger. The Greeks wanted to destroy us. They wanted to destroy the Torah. They wanted to destroy Judaism as we know it. The miracle that we needed was that we needed God to save our lives. We needed to win the war. We needed to have our normal Judaism back. And that's what we say in the Al Anisim, right? In Al Anisim we say, Shabikesh Malchus Yom Rasha, right? Alamcha Yisrael, Lashkicham Tarasecha, V'yata Brachamecha Rabim, Amada Tolem Eisarasam, right? Rabim V'yad Ma'atim, Tveim V'yad Tahirim. So certainly, what was the miracle we needed? We needed to be saved. We needed Torah back. We needed to restore our lives to normal. And it's quite clear from the Al Anisim that the main nes was the military victory. And if I would ask anybody which was more important, the fact that oil lasted, I mean, what's the difference whether the oil lasts or not? It's the fact that they weren't harassing us, they weren't trying to kill us, and we could live lives like Jews. And that's what we say in the Al Anisim. And just to add, the famous question of the Pnei Yeshua, and also the Shas Tshuvas Chacham Tzvi, Chelik Aleph, Tshuva Pei Zayin, and that is, the miracle of the oil was not even necessary. We didn't need that miracle. Why? There was plenty of oil. The oil was tameh. There's a concept, Tumos Hutra B'tzibur. The majority of Klal Yisrael is tameh. So, l'chatchila, you're allowed to use tameh oil. So we know the Rebbeinu Shalom doesn't make miracles for nothing. What did he have to make this miracle for? We didn't even need it. It was superfluous. We could have done without it. Nothing would have happened. The avodah would not have been any better. L'chatchila, you're allowed to use tamei oil. So in the scheme of things, what was more important? The fact that they weren't endangering our lives. They weren't trying to kill us. They allowed us to light the Shabbos candles. They allowed us to keep Shabbos. They allowed us to perform bris milah. They allowed us to learn Torah. Or the fact that oil lasted for 8 days. Who cares that the oil lasted for 8 days? We didn't even need that to happen. When Yosef HaTzadik is sold down to Mitzrayim, so the pasuk says like this: "V'hinei orchas Yishmaelim ba migilad." There's a caravan of Yishmaelim. Ugmaleim noisim nichos v'tzari v'loit holchim lahoyred Mitzrayim. The caravan was carrying spices, perfumes. It smelled really good. So Chazal comment in the Yalkut Shimoni. How should we say this? Arabs, they're not known for their pleasant aroma.
Usually oil.
Right? They're not known for the... I remember when I was a kid, so the first time I went to Eretz Yisrael, I have cousins in Eretz Yisrael. They're they're cookniks. They're big cookniks. So, and some of them, they believe the biggest mitzvah is to live in areas of Eretz Yisrael. They're the most dangerous. The more Arabs, the bigger the mitzvah is to live there. Right? So we're Americans, we don't know nothing. They say, we haven't seen cousins in 20 years, so we come visit. They say, come, let's have a trip. So where do they take us? To the most dangerous spot in Eretz Yisrael. They take us in the heart of Hebron.
I was there.
And
the Arab
there. This was, intifada. And while we're walking, this Arab comes running at us with a bat. There's a smell, mamish, a terrible smell. We don't know what it is. Then we see they're in a big swimming pool. Fine. Then we can look a little closer. It wasn't a swimming pool. It was a sewer.
Oh my God.
It was a sewer. So like the Medrash asks, the Yishmaelim, they're not necessarily known for, the besamim and the tamrukei hanoshim. And yet, why? Normally the Yishmaelim, they carry itron, like petrol, and these hides of animals. Doesn't smell good. And a miracle happened that they were carrying fragrant aromas. And why? L'kavod Yosef HaTzadik, right? So Yosef HaTzadik should be transported in a pleasant smelling caravan. What are Chazal trying to say? You think Yosef cared what it smelled like? Yosef was on top of the world. He's his father's Talmud Muvak. He's sitting there learning from his father all the Torah of Yeshiva Shem Ever. He's Ben Zekunim. Zekunim stands for, the Baal Turim says, Zraim, Kodshim, Nashim, Yeshuais, which is Nazikim, Mayid. He's learning Kala Terakula. He has Eksinus Pasim. He's wearing royalty. He's his father's favorite son. And now all of a sudden, he's being sold to the Memtesh Sharitama. His whole life is being destroyed. Life as he know it, everything's crashing down on him. Right? It's the worst tragedy that ever happened to anybody. I mean, how could he's been kidnapped from his father's family to be thrown to Mitzrayim? You think he knows the difference whether it's smelling good or doesn't smell good? I mean, what's Hashem saying? Oh, Yosef, look what a great Ribbon Shem I am. You have a nice smell. Nice smell. You're destroying my life. Who cares what it smells like? What are Chazal telling us? When Bnei Yisrael are leaving Mitzrayim, Hashem says the following: Hayom atem yotzim b'chodesh ha'aviv. You're leaving in the spring. So Rashi brings Chazal. The Bnei Yisrael know what season is. You know, Hashem has to tell them it's spring. Look outside; they see it's spring outside. So Chazal say that the Rebbeinu Shalom is telling Klal Yisrael, look at the weather. I'm not taking you out in the heat of the summer. I'm not taking you out in the dead winter. I'm taking you out in beautiful weather. It's not raining. You don't need an umbrella. You don't need galoshes. Moitzi asirim b'koisharais. I take you out at the right time. So think about that. They're working Mitzrayim 10 years, right? They're being brutalized. They're being murdered. 2.4 million Jews died. Some say 24 million. Some say 240 million. The Mitzrayim took our babies, threw them into the Nile River. They took the babies, they built them into the buildings. It was a Holocaust. You think Klal Yisrael could care less whether the day they left was good weather or bad weather? Who cared? Imagine you tell my grandfather when he was liberated from the death camps, after he sees his brothers and his family gassed. Oh, you're free! Enjoy the weather! It's sunny outside. He said, get me out of this Gehenna. I don't care if it's pouring rain. Yeah. What difference does it make what the weather is? Why does the weather make a difference? And even to add, how long did the Jews enjoy this beautiful weather?
40 years. 3 weeks.
Where were they? Where were they at this time? So miraculously, at the moment Hashem told them to leave, everyone from all over Mitzrayim, they gathered at Ramses. Where are they headed? Sukkos. You know what happened at Sukkos? So the Targum Yosef Ben Azil says, they are surrounded by Ananei HaKavod. In the Ananei HaKavod, doesn't matter what the weather is outside. No, the Ananei HaKavod gave you like a climate-controlled bubble. Yeah. In the sun, it's cool. In the winter, it's warm. You don't even need shoes. It guides under you. All the snakes, the scorpions. So when they got to Sukkot, the weather is irrelevant. How long is it from Ramses to Sukkot? So Rashi says it's 120 mil. But they got there in a flash. Because Hashem carried them on the wings of eagles that momentarily they arrived from Ramses to Sukkot. How long? How many minutes? I'll tell you how many minutes. Less than 18 minutes. Because they baked the dough in Ramses. And it didn't have time to rise by the time they got to Sukkot. So we know it was maximum 17 minutes. The 120 mil was maximum 17 minutes from Ramses to Sukkot. So Ibn Hashem says, you've been being brutalized, murdered, tortured. Your children were taken away. You couldn't live normally for 210 years. And enjoy the weather for the next 17 minutes. I mean, it's one thing if Hashem takes them, on vacation for a few weeks to get in some sun. 17 minutes of good weather? I mean, it's irrelevant.
But they still have the Anania cover, no?
No, they didn't have it from Ramses till they got to Sukkot. So they could only enjoy this. Once they got to Sukkot, they're not Anania covered. The weather is irrelevant. Fine. So it says Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, in the new edition of Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, he says a very beautiful idea. The smell to Yosef, it's not the smell. The smell, it smells good, it smells bad. His life is being ruined. What matters what it smells. It's not the smell. It's not the isolated miracle of the smell. If we were Yosef, and your world is coming crashing down on you, and you're being kidnapped, and you're being taken away from your parents, and you're being thrown be'ervas ha'aretz to Mitzrayim, what do you feel like? You feel like God has forsaken you. God is throwing you away. God is not interested in you. Rebbe Shalom is casting you aside. So Rebbe Shalom says, no, I'm not throwing you away. I'm coming down with you. I didn't ignore you. I didn't neglect you. I'm taking you there. I'm holding your hand and I'm taking you down to Mitzrayim. Anochi eredemcha Mitzrayim. How do you know that? Because yes, you're going down. But smell the smell. I'm here with you. I didn't forsake you. Don't give up hope. You should realize that you have a mission. So it's not the isolated miracle. A smell, yes a smell, no a smell. In the scheme of things, the smell doesn't matter. The smell allows Yosef to view the entire context of what's happening in the prism of the Rebbeinu Shalom is doing this. Or when Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. The greatest gift anybody ever gave. Right? What could have been better? Here you have a whole nation of slaves. No one ever escaped Mitzrayim. And the Rebbeinu Shalom is taking Klal Yisrael and Mitzrayim to select them to be His chosen people. When you give someone a gift, you give someone a Chanukah gift. You give them, I don't know, a tie, a book. So what do? You take the book. Here. Right? Or you take the tie. Here. No. What do you do with the gift? You wrap it in nice wrapping paper. You take a ribbon, you put the ribbon around it, you make a nice bow. Does the wrapping paper or the bow increase the value of the item you're giving? No. It makes no difference at all. So what are you doing?
You're improving psychologically for the recipient.
There's an intangible sign of ahava, an intangible sign of endearment, and a certain chiba. You're demonstrating the love that you have. You're not just giving the gift. Yeah, if I want to give a gift, here. No, the wrapping paper, the ribbon is a sign of love. It's another way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it. You have a family heirloom, a jewel. It's worth billions of dollars. It's been in the family for generations and generations. Your great-great-great-grandfather gave it over. They brought it over from Spain to Europe, and now your family has it. And one day you don't know where it is. And everyone's looking for weeks. You're looking for it. Your kid finds it. So what does the father do? The father goes to the kid, gives the kid a kiss. Everyone is happy that the jewel is found. But the kid is extra happy. You know why? Because he also got a kiss from his father. Says Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, also this is in the Sefer Sam Derech, Rav Simcha Zisol, the former Rashiv of Hebron. He says, Hashem gave Klal Yisrael the most wonderful gift ever. What's that gift? Yetzias Mitzrayim. But the Rebbe Shalom says, I don't just want to give you the gift. Because if I just give you the gift, you think I took you out, I had to do it. Let me give you the gift. Let me wrap it in beautiful wrapping paper. Let me put a ribbon around it. That's how I'm going to give it to you. That's the weather. It's not good weather, bad weather, a little extra sun, a little less sun. It's a touch. The touch is, Rebbe Shalom saying, I give it to you b'yava. I'm giving it to you with love. It's the wrapping paper. It's the ribbon. It's the kiss. So says Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, the main thing we're happy about in Chanukah, Hashem saved our lives. The Greeks wanted to kill us. They wanted to stop Yadus. And they wanted to stop the Avodah in Beis Hamikdash. We won the war, Baruch Hashem. But the Rebbe Shalom says, if you just celebrate the Nitzacha and Hamachama, you know what you're going to think? You know why I saved you? I had to save you. I'm your creator. I'm your father. I gave you the Torah. This is the gift, but I had to give you the gift. Let me wrap the gift in a beautiful wrapping paper. Let me put a ribbon around it. That's the miracle of the oil. We didn't have to have the miracle of the oil. It was unnecessary. It was pointless. Did not accomplish anything other than, the Rebbe Shalom says, let me hand you the matana b'yahava. So the miracle of Chanukah is the Nitzachan HaMachama. The shemen, says Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, that's the wrapping paper, that's the ribbon, that's a kiss from the Rebbeinu Shalom, and that's the greatest reason to be misameach.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.